Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with the re-release of a big box of medieval music, the Medieval Ensemble of London, complete Oiseau Lyre recordings. I mean, it's not too much medieval music. It's actually a bit later than that. It's basically Renaissance music. But that's okay, because it's marvelous. And I remember when these things first came out, and they were so exciting. I mean, it was the beginning of like the period instrument rediscovery of all this repertoire, and nobody knew it, and it was fresh, and it was just wonderful. So what do? You get a little booklet, and the little booklet has, track listings. That's nice, and maybe a little bit of a note in it. I mean, you don't get text, you don't get translations. You needed them. You really need them. I wonder if they're in like some sort of, I didn't even look here. Oh, you get an index of all the songs and things. Well, that's good. And wow, what a wonderful project. Let's see. Digital copy of this booklet may be accessed at bookletsdecaclassics.com. The digital copy of the booklet. Well, it doesn't say that we have everything that was in here, like the text and all that from originally, which is a shame, but it's a budget release, and what are you going to do? Let's see what we have. Let's just go through it, because I love these recordings. A lot of them were available. There was this medieval and Renaissance giant Oiseau Lyre cube. I'm staring at it. It's right up there. And a lot of this stuff is in that. So if you already have that cube, you may not want all of this. But still, what have we got? We have secular works by Matteo da Perugia, 1400 to 1416. That's when he flourished. Nobody knows when he lived or died. So those are fun. Those are like, chansons and things like that. And they're, all of this stuff is very conjectural. What you get basically is a melodic line. Everything else, the instrumental accompaniments, the harmonies, everything else has to get filled in speculatively. So you've got a countertenor, a tenor, a baritone, a flute, a recorder, a cornemuse, a lute and a mandora, a fiddle and a rebec playing along. So, and they do their best to make it sound as interesting as possible. Now, one of the major releases these people did, it was a big, big deal, was the complete secular music of Guillaume Dufay, 1397 to 1474. He had a big, long life, and this thing is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 discs worth of stuff. And there are, it's like 100 pieces or more, 100 songs. Really amazing, just quite a collection of songs. He was a major songwriter, and it's wonderful to have all this stuff. And this was a discovery. I mean, it was a whole world we'd never heard of until this stuff showed up. So who have we got here? We've got Rogers Covey Crump, John Elwes, Paul Elliott, tenors, Timothy Penrose, countertenor. Okay. Paul Hillier, the young Paul Hillier. Yeah. And Michael George, baritones, and then like a huge selection of cranky old instruments to sputter and tootle along with them. Then we've got the complete secular music of Johannes Ockeghem. That was also a big deal. I mean, Ockeghem, had a very long life, didn't he? It was like 1410 to 1497. But not so much of his music survives, or he wasn't so prolific. There are those masses, the earliest setting of the Requiem, and the Missa Prolationem, which is like the contrapuntal masterpiece of the 15th century, in case you were wondering. And then his secular music, which is only about, only 2 discs worth of stuff. Not a huge amount, but very, very important. And again, it was a total rediscovery of a major, major voice in the music of the period. Then we've got Ce Diabolique Chant, ballads, rondos, and virelays of the late 14th century by people like Suzet and Jacquemin de Senlech and Guido. No one knows who Guido was. And let's see what else we got. Johannes Olivier and Johannes Galliot and Anonymous. Yes, so there's that disc, and then we've got Machaut, Guillaume de Machaut. Yeah, the early Guillaume de Machaut, 1300 to 1377, were his sort of kind of dates. 2 polyphonic lays. A lay is, of course, a ballad, essentially, right? the lay of the ancient mariner, that sort of thing, La Lay de la Fontaine and La Lay de Consolation. I remember this too. I had all these LPs. I mean, this is before CDs, a lot of this stuff. And boy, oh boy, was this great. This is just great. Then we've got My Very Joy, spelled Miverry, Joy, Joy. Songs of 15th century Englishmen, John Beddingham and John Dunstable and John Hurt, or just Hurt, no one's quite sure what his name was, and Walter Fry. So you get some stuff in English, thank goodness. Not that the words make sense, or that you'll understand them, or that it's English, we think. Then we've got Heinrich Isaac, Chanson, Frottola, and Lieder. Heinrich Isaac was another major, major voice, 1450 to 1517. These are all in French. They're French chansons for the most part, I think. Yes, they are. And they're absolutely delicious. And that, I think, does it. Nope, there's two more. Pardon me. Josquin. Can't leave out Josquin. We've got two masses. The Missa di-da-di, di-da-di, di-di-da-di-da, la-di-da-di-da, and the Missa Faisant Regrets, which are both gorgeous. These, of course, are a cappella masses sung by a bunch of countertenors and a bunch of tenors and a bunch of baritones. And then we've got more Josquin secular music on CD 14, his lovely, lovely collection of chansons, the complete 3-part secular music. So that's it. It's in 3 parts and it's complete. See, this is what it looks like. So you know that 90% of what they do is sort of making it up as they go along. I mean, hopefully the melodic line is what it's supposed to be, and the rest of it is anybody's guess, and they guess really, really, really well. So I'm thrilled that this is back. I enjoyed it tremendously on my first encounter, and I look forward to getting it, getting to know it afresh all over again. And you will too, by the way. Yes, you won't be able to understand a word, but beggars can't be choosers. Keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.